Good morning, and I'm hoping you're enjoying this beautiful, beautiful day out there. And it is time to do a little math. We're going to solve for sides of right triangles today, and we're going to use our trig ratios, which start with sine, and then cosine, and of course, we've got tangent. Okay, so tan A. Okay, so sine, remember, is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and then tangent is opposite over adjacent. Now, as I do these problems, I'm going to be doing some shading, and as we shade, that's going to be one of the, that's how we're going to indicate what side we're going to use and what angle we're going to use. So let's go to number 21 right over here. It says we're going to solve for W. Now, when we do this, I automatically find an angle that we are given. So I'm going to take that 40 and I'm going to shade it in. Now we do know it is 40. I'm going to write it over in just a second that was 40. Okay. And I shade that angle. Now the reason why I shade that angle is because it helps me locate all of my parts in the triangle. So remember, straight across from the 90 is the hypotenuse. Okay, let's get that one out of the way. And then straight across from the angle that we shaded, all the way across from the angle that we shaded, we call that our opposite side. And then we're left with the adjacent. And so the adjacent is always next to the angle. And right next to that angle is right here. We'll call that adjacent. We know it's not the hypotenuse because the hypotenuse is already named. Now, once we have that, we just have to look at what our sine, cosine, and tangent pieces, okay? So what I do is nice and easy. I say I am looking for the opposite. So I'm going to circle the one that has opposite, and tangent, okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle what I have, okay? I have the hypotenuse and the angle. So I'm going to say, okay, well, let's look at, I've got the angle and I've got the hypotenuse. I've got the angle and I've got the hypotenuse. I've got the angle. Okay. Now, the one that I want to locate or decide on picking is the one that I've got all that information. So I've got the angle and the hypotenuse right here. I'm only missing one thing. The one thing that I'm missing is the opposite. I have to use sine in this case. Okay. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to set it up. Sine of 40 degrees. There's my angle. Equals to the opposite. That's what we're looking for. So I'm going to write W over the hypotenuse, which is 28. Okay. Now, in order to solve this, I'm just simply going to multiply by 28 on both sides. Okay. And I'm going to cancel that. W comes out and we have 28 times sine of 40. Now, how do we do that? I'm going to go over to Desmos. Okay. That's going to be our big piece right there. I'm going to go to Desmos. Okay. And once I get into Desmos, I am going to make sure that within Desmos, I am in degree mode. And how you do that, you come over to the wrench, okay? And then you're going to click on degrees. If you're not in degree mode, it is going to calculate everything incorrect. Now, once I'm in degrees, I just type in exactly what's there, 28 times sine of 40. So I type 28 times sine of 40. And when I do that, it gives me 17.99, or essentially just let's round it up to 18. So W equals to 18.